Hey, you. Welcome back to the channel. And guys, today we want to talk about Coinbase adding 31 coins to their market, and have they finally added the right coin? So, uh, the process that Coinbase is using to add coins, I don't think anybody was really able to figure it out. And so you get these coins and question marks come in your head like, well, why did they add this coin or add that coin? And so been hearing things like, oh, well, they're trying to add coins that aren't too centralized, yet at the same time that are legally compliant in their areas, that are not securities. And so whatever they're using to come up with these, to add these tokens, there is popping up on there, and we're still kind of scratching our heads going, well, does that meet the criteria they're speaking of? Finally, though, I guess at least from my personal point of view, I'm finally happy with a token that they have added, and that is the Decentraland. So many of you probably, and what I found out too is a lot of people probably don't know what the Decentraland is, and that didn't surprise me because there have been very popular, well done these virtual worlds that were very big and people didn't know about, and they were like, "Oh, what is that?" And one such one was Second Life. It came about was years and years ago. I think it was like 2003 when it first came on the scene, and it was a virtual world, somewhat modeled after the real world, somewhat modeled after whatever your imagination can dream of, and the people were becoming millionaires in these virtual worlds. As crazy as it seemed, they were becoming millionaires because there was only so much land. Kind of reminds you of like cryptocurrency, yeah, finite amount of tokens. There was so much of this, what you might call virtual land. So much of it could appear on a server, and people would lease or buy these servers, and they would control these worlds that people through avatars could come in and interact in these virtual spaces. They could role play. And of course, servers are physical, they cost money, but depending on what you did to the server, if you had works of art, virtual goods, that increased the value of it. So what's happening is the central land over the blockchain, the cryptocurrency space, is doing something that's been done before, but it's doing it in a way where it's not a centralized company controlling it. I remember like Second Life, they were centralized and they had their own token money supply, and they could create more land, which in fact it was like inflation, right? And so Decentraland seems to be following that same kind of idea, but you don't have the inflation of creating more money or creating more tokens and all that. And that's very interesting because I think the cryptocurrency space, the blockchain, provides a good way to make that these type models work. And they're very interesting, and they're a lot of fun, and they're a lot of entertainment. And millions of people use these virtual worlds. So I think that creates a good use case. And that's why I like the Central Land so much. And by it being listed on Coinbase, I think that's a great thing. Of course, I went ahead and I bought some. They call them mana tokens. I bought some yesterday when I heard about them, and they're not the only virtual world. It's others, but Decentraland I think seems to be kind of like the granddad in the cryptocurrency space. It's the one people tend to think about. So I bought some. I think it quickly jumped up about 7% or something like that. I was happy with that because I bought it because I always liked the concept of Decentraland. This is something if I could see myself using, playing around with. I like the idea of because I had a lot of experience in Second Life, which was probably the most popular of these virtual worlds. And these things are popular. They work. They do well. People participate in them. They enjoy them. They get immersed in them. And so Decentraland could become something like that. And it's just so much very interesting concept. So I was glad to see that. Now, I'm not sure. They mentioned several other coins as well. I wasn't interested in them. My take on altcoins, guys, I'm very hard on altcoins. Very few I probably can count on the palm of my hands how many altcoins I even care about, care to think about, or would invest in. But Decentraland is one of them. Decentraland is definitely one of them. Big fan of what they're doing with Decentraland, and just wanted to talk about that a little bit with you guys, and let you know that I guess I can say Coinbase has finally done something right by me as far as the coins they've listed. I wanted them to list Electroneum, as many people who watch the channel know. I thought Electroneum was the most compliant coin in cryptocurrency. Seemed to make sense. It's possible it might happen still. They might get Electroneum in there at some point. I don't know, because they're adding 31. I don't know if they're going to go down the line of the top 31 cryptocurrencies. Probably not, because Decentraland is not that. Decentraland is not top 31 coins, so they are skipping around. But how they're coming up with what to pick, and they got some kind of team, and that's where that team is who's in charge of, and there's who's figuring out this, and they're the ones who are deciding what to list. But I will say this to that team: you did get one in. I like Decentraland, very interesting token. I think we're gonna see a lot of big things happen from Decentraland. I think Decentraland is going to be one of these tokens platforms people really actually use. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say, guys. Guys, if you like content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time, take care.